today, went to that, then went to the ball game.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lebanon Board of Works meeting for December 9th, 2019. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Cousin Robinson, will you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we'll move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Sure. Mayor Gentry?
Present.
Jane Taylor? Absent. Bill Stoner?
Present.
Dick Robertson?
Present.
Alan Milburn?
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes or edits to the minutes? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Our minutes are approved. On to department head reports. First up is Police Department. Deputy Chief Bailey.
Good evening. During the period between November 25th and today's date, the Lebanon Police Department responded to 587 calls for service. A total of 14 people were arrested for the following crimes. 3 were wanted on warrants, 4 for domestic battery, 3 for criminal trespass, 3 for driving while suspended, and 1 for intimidation with a deadly weapon. A total of 6 handgun carry permits were issued for our department. And then on December 6th, the Lebanon Police Department drone team and the Zionsville Fire drone team trained together practicing searching techniques for lost people. The last thing is the Lebanon Police Department would like to wish everybody a happy holiday and a safe one. That's it for my report.
Thank you, Brett. Any questions for the board from the police department?
No.
Any questions from the public?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, sir. Next up is Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to report this is the lowest number of calls for service for Lebanon Fire in any 2-week period in 2019, so that's a very good thing for the public. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 121 emergency calls for service, logged 257 hours for training, performed 44 commercial inspections, installed 3 car seats, and we participated in 1 public education event. Firefighters Jacob Fussell, Alex Knipp, Tyler Aguirre, and Jerry Seymour have completed and passed their Instructor 1 certification. Really happy with all those firefighters. They've done a very nice job with this class, very time consuming. So next week we will be working with Jacob and Alex Knipp to get them signed off to be ride-out officers. They will be going through their practicals, so it's very exciting for them, and we're anxious to get them in those roles. This Friday, LFD, in conjunction with Dulles Tree Farm, will be putting together a Facebook Live video, a PSA announcement for Christmas tree safety. We'll be doing this mid-morning. Very excited to get this information out to the public and partner with Dulles Tree Farm. The lateral transfer pre-application process is closed. It closed on Wednesday, November 27th. We will be doing our written aptitude test on January 6th. And then I would like to give a big thank you to the Lebanon Parks Department in the heart of Lebanon for just a wonderful job with the Christmas parade and the events downtown. I think it's one of the largest crowds we've had downtown for the Christmas parade, so kudos to them. Okay. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the board? No. Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Next up, Parks Department, John Messenger.
Thank you. Good evening. The Turkey Day Fun Run that was on Thanksgiving morning, even though it was nasty weather, great turnout. They raised $8,000 for the Shalom House. So cool. I want to thank all the volunteers and participants in that, but that's a great number. Biggest turnout yet. Our restroom maintenance building project, they've got all the site work done there. All the stone has been installed. Probably put some paving down if weather permits Thursday and Friday. along with framing the restroom, the roof, and the framing on the maintenance barn. They should be in by the end of the week too, weather permitting. So that's moving along really good, way ahead of schedule, and very thankful for that because we need our space back. The Christmas in the cabin, thanks to Chief there, it was a great turnout. The kids came up, it was a huge success, nice weather. Santa, a lot of kids with Santa, so his list has gotten a lot bigger with all the wishes, with all the little kids. We had crafts, hot chocolate goodies, and I just want to thank Parks Department and Taylor and Allison for all their hard work and their great organization on that. Carriage rides went on. We got quite a few people in. There were only a couple that couldn't get in there. We squeezed a bunch in. Already heard from the carriage people, and they're getting another carriage, so we'll be able to have 2 carriage rides next year, which surely we won't have anybody turned away, and we hate to do that, but that list was filled up pretty quick the 1st of November when we announced it. The Christmas parade, again, great success. Keeps getting bigger every year. This year was huge. I think 40 entrants along with some horses. Each year it grows with the great floats. A lot of work went into it. I want to thank all the participants there. And again, Caleb Skank did a nice decorating job on all the Santa's trailer that he was on, and Billy Smith, and again, Taylor and Allison for all of their hard work and the many participants that were there. It's been a very productive 2019. We have our 2020, we'll bring our 100th anniversary to Memorial Park along with Allen's Rotary. Looking forward to that. They've done a nice job. Had a lot of projects done this year thanks to all of you and the hardworking council. We want to appreciate, and the Parks Board. Just looking forward to all the projects we can accomplish in 2020. But thank you all for all your hard work.
Thank you, John. And I also want to extend my appreciation for you guys for assembling the 26-foot tall Christmas tree.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
I know that was something that was the first time doing that, but I thought you guys did a great job
You
with
were
it.
there to guide us there.
I had to see it with my own eyes, and you guys did a phenomenal job with it. So
It was,
I want to
yeah,
take my
thank you
thanks
very
for that
much.
as well too. So.
Yes.
So if it blows over, it's his fault, huh?
Yeah, it won't do it. I tell you, if those 65-mile-an-hour winds didn't get it, I don't think it.
Yeah, I think we got it secured. It's doing
I
all
think it's good design.
right. Any questions for John from the board? No. Any questions from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Evening, board members. Engineering report for the 9th of December. Hard to believe that the year is almost over, and this is, I believe, my last engineering report for the year. We're looking at the downtown projects, though, as we always do. We start off there. We're nearing the end, as you can imagine. Meridian Street is where most of our work is really focused at this point. We're about 75% complete with the removal and the replacement of all the curbs and sidewalks on that block of Meridian Street between Main and State Road 32. We just really have that northeast quadrant left to do, and really at this point, everything's weather dependent. And I'd like to think we'll see another 2 or 3 day window of decent weather. Thursday and Friday this week look pretty warm. Hopefully we can finish that up before the year comes to a close. But we don't want to tear anything up that we can't finish. So we want to make sure of that. So we'll continue to watch the skies and watch the forecasts and do as best we can. So really that's the work we've been focused on the last couple of weeks. We've completed really everything at the corner of Meridian and 32 in terms of the traffic signals and sidewalks. Those are all done, so we're just trying to wrap up that sidewalk project to the north. And like I said, we've only got about 25% left to do. Work expected, though, in the spring. There is one thing that's going to have to wait till spring, and that's the resurfacing of that section of the street. If you might remember, that was part of the resurfacing street package we put together this year. So we've already talked with the contractor. They've agreed to hold that price and honor that contract and complete that work next spring as soon as the weather allows. So that will be wrapped up then. Again, we're near the end, but continue to look for those daily updates from the Heart of Lebanon on their Facebook page. They're also updating you as well on the work that the county is doing on the south entrance to the courthouse with the new steps and the ADA ramps there that they're building. We just can't thank them enough for all they're doing to help keep the public notified of what's going on. The other major project I want to talk about that's ongoing is the Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2 project. Obviously also nearing the end of really the construction season here, but happy to report in the last 2 weeks we did open up two-way traffic. We have all the temporary striping down. We have all the detours removed, and really that road is going to function as it always has until we get to the spring when we'll come in and do the final surfacing. Like Meridian Street, though, we'll continue to look for weather windows where we can get stuff done, but at this point, I'm not willing to really guarantee you anything else gets done on that corridor until spring. So at this point, we're really looking at the driveways, the sidewalks, all the landscaping, the lighting, and then the final asphalt surfacing, striping, and signage that will happen in the spring. But we'll keep you posted. If we get a warm spell here, we'll continue to pour driveways and get those in as best we can. I believe we're down to only one driveway left to be poured on the west side of the road, and then we'd move to the east side. But it is the contractor's responsibility to maintain the traffic control, to maintain the temporary drives through the winter. So rest assured that those driveways and those businesses will remain open. And if somebody does have any concerns with safety or access to businesses, we just ask that you contact us and we'll make sure we get that addressed as soon as possible. Again, look for the updates on the city Facebook page, although I would say there won't be much happening through the winter in that corridor. Pavement resurfacing projects for this year. Those are really at a close at this point. We do have some work that will have to be done in the spring on Southeast Street and South Meridian Street. All the work was completed, but I'm afraid the alley approaches are just not acceptable at this point, and so most of those are going to have to be redone in the spring once we get warmer weather. Contractors already agreed to redo that work as we have directed, but obviously it's not something we can do in the cold weather, so we'll look to spring there. Also happy to report the Grant Street patch there along the new curb was also installed last week. Community crossings.
Kevin, I'm sorry. Do we have one contractor left working on paving projects?
We only had one this year. That is Triangle Asphalt Paving Company that's done all that work. And so they're the contractor I'm referring to that's agreed to honor their price for the rest of Meridian Street. Okay. They're the contractor that also will be replacing those deficient alley aprons as we get to next spring as well.
Just curious. I didn't know which one it was.
Nope, it's the only one we have this year. But speaking of that, tonight, later on in this meeting, we will be opening bids for the 2020 resurfacing package. And I want to remind everyone that we were successful in obtaining a community crossing grant for just shy of $1 million. And that puts our total resurfacing package for next year at about $2 million. We're going to open bids tonight. We need to have those contracts in place. Really, we need to have them in place by the end of the year for some encumbrance issues we have to deal with. But according to NDOT, we have to have all contracts in place by April 15th and then complete all the work within 18 months. So I mentioned a $2 million project. Remember, that's a 50-50 match project. I'm happy to report that in the budget for next year, we have $534,607. And this year, unallocated budget that we didn't spend for road resurfacing, we have $619,380.36 as of an appropriation report about 30 days old, but it include the invoices we just processed for this year's paving. So that leaves us with $1.15 million for next year of our local funds, more than what we need for the match. Leaves us with about $150,000 in excess for next year, but we'll look to block patching areas, we'll look to certain projects of that nature that we will spend the rest of that money on, as well as some restriping that is needed around the city. So good news. I know in previous reports to you, I thought we would have to do a special appropriation. It looks like, provided we can get the contracts or the bids open tonight and the contracts in place for the end of the year, we should be fine for all the work for next year. Remind you, there's 23 projects, and again, we'll talk more about that later in the meeting. Sidewalk replacement program, at your last meeting, you authorized us to proceed with right-of-way acquisition for work along Lafayette Avenue, Witt Road, and Riley Road. I did leave that contract across the hall, but if you could do me a favor and stick around tonight until we get all your signatures on that so we can authorize the contractor to move forward. Big Four Trail expansion, just one quick update. The state did contact us and asked for additional information on our application. So that is not, doesn't guarantee anything, but that's a good sign that our application is still in the running for consideration in this Phase 2 award. We have until, I believe, the 23rd to respond to those comments, and we plan to respond on the 16th. So we'll be in good shape to addressing their concerns with that additional information and hopefully for their further consideration. Street Department unit price material bids, again, that's another project that we'll be opening on bids later tonight. Moving on to other things, private development work, Sunbrook Villas, Sunbrook, we're still waiting on some utility pole relocations along their entrance along Witt Road, but essentially that project is complete in their Phase 1. And they have, this board has approved their secondary plat and accepted their surety worksheets, which are approved pending delivery of those documents to the planning department. And then we've also had an update from the developer last week. They do intend to start work in the spring of 2020 on the Villas project. No real further updates with the exception of the State Road Bridge inspection. You remember we're on a yearly cycle now to inspect that bridge, and that inspection was done last week. I'm happy to report it was another good inspection. Of the several hundred, maybe several thousand fasteners on the project, 2 were found to be loose. Those have been removed, been replaced with new thread lock material and retightened. These were also 2 fasteners that were on the extreme ends of the project that would not be in any danger of falling into the interstate should they come loose. But again, these were only 2 fasteners of the hundreds of fasteners that are on the bridge. So a good report. So we'll continue to work with the state on that. Hopefully we can get to a more standard inspection schedule of every 2 years. But more to come on that. Any questions?
Any questions for Kevin from the board? No. Okay. Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up is Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department continues to remain busy, but although we are starting to see a little bit of the wintertime slowdown that we expect in the January, February timeframe, last couple of weeks we did 43 additional inspections and 14 permits were issued. So it's down quite a bit from where we were. So we'll see if that's just an anomaly of the November and December timeframe when nobody's really doing much of anything from this perspective, or whether we'll have a little bit of winter slowdown. But permit activity has been very good this year. I'll probably do a little bit of a year-end summary at your next meeting, but we're approaching 80 single-family permits for the year, and primarily just 2 neighborhoods. So it shows that there's demand, strong demand in Lebanon for new homes, and we're seeing that in those neighborhoods that are under construction. So that's a really good sign going into 2020. Code enforcement continues to remain busy as well, dealing with a number of different issues, but a lot of trash and debris and junk vehicles that we're continuing to work with. We have a good relationship with the Lebanon Police Department. Thanks to those folks. We tag team with them to work on the junk vehicles because you have to be able to run plates in order to be able to address those issues. So we do have a good working relationship there and addressing those issues, and continue to do that throughout the wintertime. In terms of the comprehensive plan, that project is nearing its end. It's been a long time coming, but we're happy to report that we'll be at the Plan Commission meeting next Monday night. We're expecting the Plan Commission to provide a recommendation on that updated plan. Then it'll be in front of the council for adoption sometime in January, likely their first meeting in January. For anyone that would like to view the draft of this plan, I've mentioned previously, it is a website. It is not a printed plan. So the plan is the website. but it is live now. You can go check it out, and if anybody has any questions, then feel free to call the department. But that web address is www.lebanon.pivotmarketing.com. That's the temporary address. You can find everything there, and if you have any questions about anything or any concerns, please let the planning department know. But it is up and will be considered at the planning commission meeting next Monday night. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions from the board?
Ben, is that attached to your site, to planning department office?
It is not right now. We've posted to our Facebook page, the link there. We haven't posted it live there yet because it's not the final web address.
Okay.
But it has been posted to the Facebook page, so people can get to it from there.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's it going? Well, let's see. The brush and chipper truck have been out pretty busy. We will be switching this truck over to a plow truck Friday, December 13th, so Thursday will be our last day. That doesn't mean if we have a storm or something, we still got our pickups. So, we could get brush to the shop and we just have to chip it up in the spring, but that doesn't mean that, but only on storms. We're not going to be able to go around like we do and just pick up everybody's little debris because that's a plow truck we have to have ready. But we'll have it out again in spring, hopefully soon. We have decided to keep our leaf machines out till Thursday, December 12th, just because the weekend was so nice. Everybody was out raking. We usually cut it off the first week of December, but weather's been great, so people got a chance to get out there, and we didn't want to leave our residents hanging, because a lot of people did work hard. So we'll get them up. Not today, obviously, so it's raining, but we do have to cut that off Thursday. So after that, they'll just have to wait till we do a spring yard debris week. We usually extends to 2. We get the leafers back out and give it, because some of the leaves haven't even fallen yet. So don't panic, we will get them. It just might be the spring. But if they're out on the road, we'll get them this week. But that's about all I got for that. Let's see, that's all I really have. We had 139 calls since our last meeting. Most of those were for leaves. We did receive a lot of compliments, over the leaves and thanking our guys for how hard they're working. A few letters in the mail telling our guys the great job they're doing. So the guys are doing a great job. We had a blast at the Christmas parade. One of the guys was even the Grinch. That went over pretty good. But I heard one of the kids screaming at him don't steal our Christmas or something weird stuff down. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great event, and Parks did a good job.
Okay. Any questions for Street Department? No. Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Communications and Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Kind of piggybacking off of what Dave was talking about and the Christmas parade, a big thank you to the Street Department and also the Parks Department for all their help throughout the holiday season. It looks amazing downtown, in large part to those two departments, and so we're very thankful for our Parks Department and Lebanon Utilities as well. Also recapping the Heart of Lebanon's events, the Christmas parade, big thank you out to that organization for putting on what I've been told is the largest Christmas parade we've had. Big crowd downtown, which is amazing. Want to also thank so many people for coming out. A really festive night. It was clear, a little bit chilly, but still a lot of fun. And the new tree worked, which was great. Some of us were kind of holding our breath there for a minute, kind of wiping the sweat off our brow. Hopefully that it was going to work, and it did. So we're very thankful that Santa and Emily helped out throw the switch on the new tree, and so we appreciate that. I just came upstairs from what is our art and artist meet and greet. It began at 4 o'clock and runs until 7 o'clock. All 7 of the city displayed statues, so I'm talking about Rocket and Wave and Leo and Jerry and Boots and Hutton and Bruce are all on display downstairs. And so a little backstory on each one of those statues is there as well. Right now, 3 of our 4 artists are downstairs. Shannon Faber, Claire Houghton, and Anita Gordon are all downstairs. And Rebecca Hundley is a teacher, and she's expected to be in a little bit later on in the evening. You can come downstairs in the municipal building until 7 o'clock tonight, so if you're watching at home, there's still time to get down. Refreshments, free stuff to give away, checking out all the great artwork that's being done in our community by either folks that live in Lebanon or grew up in Lebanon. So 3 of our 4 artists are Lebanon residents, and so what we're also hoping is that what I'm about to talk about, we can flesh out some more artistic folks within our community to be able to add some color and vibrance in that community. And so getting ready for 2020, we've used the Tigers as kind of a springboard into what more we want to do as far as public artwork and quality of life are concerned. And so the first one will be, we partner with both NDOT and CSX. And so the first one will be off of the Big Four Trail and the overpass. Bring me up on the back, please. Thank you. This is the overpass just off of the Big Four Trail trailhead near Menards. And so you're walking towards Thorntown, you're riding your bike, you're walking your dog. This will take the place of the graffiti and the choice language that's spray painted on that overpass. And so we're in the process of getting approval and going through that permitting process with the folks of NDOT. As long as we don't have nail or screw attached to that bridge, we're good to go. And so we have a liaison that's going to help us out. And so that's our partnership with NDOT. I'm just going to put that right on top here. We're also working on our overpasses with CSX. So these are our different rail overpasses within our community. Let's go right at noon here. This is the Big Four Trail before you get to the trailhead near Menards. And so there are two potential places where some artwork can be done. Down here on Lafayette Avenue, there already is some tagging, including I'm Dying, which is written on our overpass right now in spray paint. And also, I did some stories on these guys. This is the 619 gang out of Chicago. And so they've tagged our overpasses both at the NDOT and the Big Four Trail and here along Lafayette Avenue. Then we're entering the city off of State Road 32. This is heading downtown here on the bottom. And as you're leaving, going out towards Ice Cream Paradise or McDonald's there, this is State Road 32. And then up here on Hoy Avenue, this is the one it's kind of near and dear to my heart. This is near Harney Elementary School. And you can see, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. I'm not a pro here. But when this picture was taken, when I took this picture, there are three young ladies. The third one is playing up here. They're walking to Harney Elementary, just off of Lafayette Avenue. And these are profane words that have been marked out. This is other tagging that's done, and this is some other tagging that has been covered up. And so what we'd like to do, instead of having these young ladies and other students see this type of language and type of images, we like to bring some color, vibrance, and quality of life to all these overpasses. And so talking to the artists downstairs, quite literally, and other ones as well, and maybe members of our public, we are going to, for lack of a better term, tag our community the way we want to. Instead of a Chicago gang coming in and tagging it the way they want to, we'd like to have that show color, vibrance, and be able to have some kind of interactive element as well. We've seen in other communities where, just talking to the folks downstairs, where instead of seeing the profane words that are covered up, some artists have put together a page from Mario Brothers. And so if you're familiar with that classic Nintendo video game, and so kids are seeing color, they're being able to jump over makeshift fireballs that are painted on the wall there, and being able to just kind of enjoy their walk to school instead of seeing what they're seeing and being subject to that. And so we're really looking forward to adding some vibrance in partnership with CSX. Very similar kind of agreement with CSX and NDOT. We're not going to be messing with the structural integrity of any overpass, whether it be NDOT or CSX. We are merely doing things on the surface. So the superficial changes that will hopefully raise the level of quality of life in our community is what we're after. And we're looking forward to being able to do that. The sooner the better. And so the way it worked out with the tiger statues is we compensated our artists for the materials they purchased and also their abilities as well. And so looking forward to incorporating and doing that same sort of thing, including applying for some grant funding as well from the state to be able to add to those quality of life elements within our community. And this is a call out for anyone that would like to take part in this. If you're maybe an artist that we're sitting on the sidelines, 2 of the 4 artists downstairs, we met via a sidewalk chalk festival that we had. And so we had a competition, and a couple of our winners were there. One kind of didn't want to do it, but her twin boys kind of pushed her to do it. And she did one of the fire department tiger statues. And so being able to flesh out an artist like that would be amazing, and being able to do more of that, have that collaborative element to it would be fantastic. And so if you'd like to reach out and begin a conversation about how you can get involved in adding some color, some artistic integrity to our community, just shoot an email to info@lebanon.in.gov. That's INFO, info@lebanon.in.gov. We can get you paired up. We have 7 statues that are downstairs and complete. We ordered 20. We gave 1 each to the 4 elementary schools, 1 to the middle school, 1 to the high school. We are soliciting social organizations as well and businesses to be able to have those type of quality of life elements added to our community. And our artists are at the ready to be able to help you, because stick figures would not go well on our statue that's going to be here in the municipal building, but being able to game plan with those artists and being able to turn out a quality product is something we're excited about. And so info@lebanon.in.gov is the place to go if you want to either request a statue and be able to just have a conversation about that, or say, hey, I'm an artist, I've been on the sidelines, I want to get in the game, how do we do that? I'll get you connected.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe?
Yeah, I do have a question, Joe. On the overpasses and, the idea of the artwork or doing something to spruce those up, I commend that idea. I like that. But, if you took the Hoy Avenue one, which is really an antique, it's 100 years old, there's some structural, concrete that's falling off of that, and it's been, it just looks bad. Now, if you don't fix the concrete or they don't do something to spruce up the structure, it seems like almost an effort in time to not be able to put something on there or decorate it, and it's going to be right back off again.
Sure. Dave is an expert, so I'll let him jump in, but some of the best advice I've ever gotten is control what you can control. With CSX, the inspections that they do is one thing. I will point out what you're referencing, Alan, is up on the Hoy Avenue. You can tell where some of the concrete is missing. Like it is fallen, right. Literally fallen off of the side here.
Right.
Now, what's been done in other communities, and again, Dave will speak from a more technical aspect, but what's been done aesthetically with artwork is incorporating this imperfection into the artwork. And so if you're looking at Godzilla punching the side of figuratively here, punching the side of the bridge, you're incorporating that image into something that we can't control, at least on the surface. And Dave, I'd lend to your expertise here, but as far as I know, that's CSX.
I think Kevin would even vouch. We've tried to get them on like the Lafayette Avenue projects, and it's a no-go. I mean, the Lafayette Avenue CSX bridge is bad. You can see rebar and everything else.
Yeah, that one right there on the backside, you can see.
Yeah, right.
They just won't do nothing for the city. I think the mayor would say that too. So it's either leave it like it is, or I support Joe in this because I can't tell you how many times the street department's painted the bridge right there at Hoy because of the kids. There's so much stuff written on it. I mean, I'm not going to say they won't keep painting on it, but it might discourage them because it's probably some kids doing it, some of it. So, but yeah, CSX, they just don't play well, I guess, with others, so we can't really get them to do nothing.
Okay.
And if you're worried about the graffiti element, which I am, as being a dad, we are going to put with all of our murals, even the one on with our partnership with NDOT, we're going to put the coding on there. And so if someone would come and tag it, put some words that our street department has covered up, it is able to be cleaned off. And so similar to our statues downstairs, they'll each be put on a concrete base so they won't be walking off, and they'll be coated as well. So no one is going to jack with them and take away from what kind of special element we want to add to our community. And so if someone does put a gang sign up there, more power to them. It's coming right off, and it cleans off easily, and we get to keep our artwork the way it is on an overpass that we can control.
Any other questions from the board? No. Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, that concludes what I have for department head reports. We'll move on to old business. The first item up I have is the proposal for the planning, development, design, and construction for a bike park at the old city dump. Turn it over to Kevin on this one.
Thank you, board, once again. We presented this at the last meeting, and we heard concerns about wanting more information, particularly about IDEM's role in a reuse of a retired landfill. So we wanted to step back a bit and maybe give you a more holistic presentation on the project, our partners. I know time is of the essence here, so I will breeze through these slides as quickly as we can, but I wanted to make sure everyone had the information. So we're here tonight to talk about the Lebanon Bike Park, or what could be the Lebanon Bike Park. This is the proposed site. Many in the room will know this as the old city dump. This is the site up along US 52. It is just adjacent to the Trophy Club Golf Course. You can kind of see that. You can see some of the greens and the sand traps to the east side of that photo up there. The land was purchased in 1956 by the city, operated a landfill starting in 1959 with a formal application to operate that landfill in 1974. The landfill closed officially in 1984, according to IDEM, and cover was completed in 1987. Approximately 90 acres of the 110-acre site was a landfill. A 2-foot clay cap was placed over that, and the landfill was closed. There was still some continued dumping on the site, mostly clean fill, earth from excavations of that nature. Leaves were deposited there after the leaf cleanup season. And so we did have to do some work to remediate that in 2017, but now we do have a clean bill of health, if you will, from IDEM on that site, and it is currently actively closed. I won't get into a whole lot of details. There was an abandoned landfill, an ALF environmental assessment done in 2000. These are just some excerpts from that. I'm actually showing you this because surprisingly, the borings that were done across the site only really didn't really show a whole lot of waste fill on the site. There is one boring and one cross section that showed the waste material there in the gray hatching. This is on the south end of the project. Again, there is a little more of that again. So the question you had asked me last time was, can we even do this? The answer really is definitively yes, with a caveat that there obviously will be rules associated with how we do that. I've reached out to IDEM to obtain some of this information. I've also confirmed this information with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, who did the 2000 report that you just saw, as well as ATC and Associates, another environmental engineering firm that works with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert on that previous report, and a gentleman there who has over 40 years of experience dealing with the solid waste industry. All people, IDEM officials, Butler Fairman, ATC, as well as the park designer that we're talking to, assured me that you can do this. It is done regularly, and there's just certain hurdles you have to jump through. Essentially, the second quote there, second bullet point, disturbance of the final cover, liner, or other components of the containment system, including any removal of waste, will not increase the potential threat to human health or environment. That is the overarching principle in this policy document, non-rule policy document regarding the use of post-closure use of solid waste facilities. Again, I won't go through all the details, but I will assure you that we have very good feedback that this is all possible. Partners, I mentioned to you last time the proposal that we have is from the Hillride Corporation out of California. They've got 18 plus years of experience, and more importantly, 5 of the bike parks that they have designed have been on closed landfill sites. Again, a little bit about their process. Their vision is they want to build bike parks across the country, and they're well on their way to doing that. They want one in every town across the U.S. These are the principals, the owners of the company. They both have extensive experience riding and designing bike parks of this nature. They're a well-qualified, well-respected group. A little bit about their process. This is sort of just, I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I took some snapshots from their statement of qualification that kind of goes through the process. There's several feasibility meetings that they would have with local officials. Community outreach and engagement programs would be a key part of this. Design development, getting the entire community involved, as you see there, children involved, making sure that the community has a clear voice in what happens there. Through construction, and then I wanted to give you a representation of bike parks that they have designed. Closely and most notably, Griffin Bike Park in Terre Haute, Indiana. It's a 300-acre park. This is a much more extreme park than we would be trying to build. It's a $2.1 million park. I will point out that that $2.1 million was raised through donations and private funding. There was no municipal funding associated with that. So you can see those some other parks that would be involved. Really, I think when this park is completed, we're talking about a regional draw to the community for a park of this nature. Again, I took a couple of snapshots. There's dozens of them that I could share, but I thought these sort of represented a good cross-section of what Hill Ride does. This is the Gallup Bike Park from Gallup, New Mexico. This is the Redmond Bike Park in Redmond, Washington. As you can see, they design for families in mind. They design from the extreme rider to the children following behind dad. Another example of more passive trail design work that they do. Another partner that we mentioned last time would be the Hoosier Mountain Bike Association. They are committed to working with us on this project. There's their mission statement, but more importantly, I want to point out that they have 151.8 miles of trails in the state of Indiana that they currently maintain. That's about a $3.84 million book of trail networks that they are in charge of. And that is really where they would come into play on this. So HMBA, they build trails using volunteers. They primarily maintain trails. They also provide training tools, and they provide communication needed to maintain these trail systems. And that's where they're willing to partner with us. Again, they help to help with local funding. They help to achieve these trail networks. Their goal is the expansion of riding throughout the state. Just a few things there. They also are very instrumental on helping to get grants. These are a few of the major grants that they have achieved, including being a recipient of the 2019 Phase 1 Next Level Trails grant that went into use in Brown County. So these people are well-versed in maintaining trails, well-versed in funding trails, and another partner on the project. This is some pictures of what might be representative of what a mountain bike trail might look like. They work with the land. They are not something where we would try to blow out trees or really change the terrain of the park. We want to work with the park and with the natural terrain that exists around the perimeter of that site. Another key partner I wanted to mention is NICA, the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. They've been around since 2009. They're in 30 different states. They do have a chapter in Indiana, but do not have a sanctioned event or course in Indiana. They want to partner with us on making this a NICA sanctioned course. NICA is all about character building with its core tenets there, as you can see, and they want to try to reach student athletes that might not participate in your normal, more traditional sports. Again, a different type of sport. They celebrate individuals, but it is also a team environment. Some statistics here. I won't bother reading all these, but I can share this presentation with you later. But again, this is a growing sport. This is a growing community, and they do always want to stress that this is a community. The mountain bike community is a very, very tight-knit group of individuals. Basically, their goal is youth and getting more kids out, more kids active. As you can see there, more kids on bikes. And I think actually every person in that photo there is a young lady. They have an exclusive part of their mission is to reach the girls and make sure they're out there riding and inclusive with everybody else. Another Lebanon. I'm not for sure if this will play here. Yeah, I was having technical difficulties. I bring this up. This is a video. Oh, maybe it is going to play. This is from Lebanon, Ohio. Why do I show you this? One, it's Lebanon. Two, they built their bike park on an abandoned landfill. If this buffers a lot here, we'll skip this. And it probably don't have sound. But
Mere Health Bike Park had its grand opening today in Lebanon. Local 12's Brad Underwood is live with a look at this one-of-a-kind bike park. Brad?
Good evening, Angela. Yeah, certainly nothing like it in our area. We're just off the 48 bypass in Lebanon. Got a few people still here hanging out on one of the pump tracks here at the course. But again, you mentioned a big day, the grand opening this morning after almost a year of building this park.
3, 2, 1.
That was this morning, the mayor, along with some sponsors and the builders, officially opening the park here this morning. This place is awesome. You've got 45 acres of fun on two wheels. They have two pump tracks. If you're not familiar with a pump track, it's kind of an off-road circuit course with hills, twists, and turns. We're standing in front of one here today. Also a skills area. There's a jump course. There are gravel trails, as well as numerous trails throughout the woods. Certainly one-of-a-kind park. It's owned by the city of Lebanon and built with grants and private donations. There's still a few people here, but kids having just a great time on all these different areas all day long.
Gives everyone a great opportunity to come out and learn, and where I'm from, we don't have.
I'll stop that there in the interest of time, but a couple things there. As I said, Lebanon, Ohio did this on a landfill. I think we can do it too. Their budget was $220,000. We're proposing an identical or similar budget, and they did it with donations primarily in a partnership with their local hospital organization. I think we can pull a page out of their blueprints and try to follow a similar strategy. So again, what I'm asking for tonight is authorization to enter into a contract with Hillride, the first design group that we talked about, for a total of $7,280 to take us through the planning level exercises on the project. Their total contract is just over $30,000 for all services, all construction-related services. But for right now, to make sure that everyone's comfortable with this and we go through that public outreach process, we just want to ask for authorization for those first 4 tasks in the contract to get us through the planning, and we'll go on from there. Again, we can, as I said last time, we can fund this with excess money we have left over in our active living fund for the year. So we're not asking for any appropriation, we're just asking for authorization, pending legal review, to enter into this contract.
Any questions for Kevin from the board?
So the property has been remediated, right?
The property, well, remediated, when you say remediated, what I hear when I say that is that the fill has been removed. It's not, there's still a landfill there. The fill has just been capped and closed. And basically, what NDOT or what IDEM would say is you can reuse that facility provided you don't pierce through that cap. But even with that, they have provisions that if you needed to pierce through the cap for, say, structural improvements, parking lots, buildings, things of that nature, park shelters, you can. There's just also an added level of environmental and geotechnical engineering that has to be done. But essentially what we're proposing is we're not going to touch the cap, we're going to work on, around, and above the cap and not in any way compromise that cap. Basically, we have to keep what is buried in the ground there, buried in the ground.
Right.
Okay. Any additional questions?
Kevin, you're asking for $7,280, right?
Yes.
Is that based
Well,
on?
I'm not asking for anything. We have the money in our existing planning department budget. I'm just
Oh, yeah, I
asking
know.
for authorization to enter the contract.
Correct, okay, now, this number here and the numbers on the front of this sheet, does all this add up? Because it just didn't look like it all added up correctly to me.
I believe it does.
When I was looking
guess
at it
I need to
today.
Check the math. I did check the math before I came in here on the first 4 tasks.
Because I've got this first section up here, have you got this in front of you? I want to know exactly what we're approving, I guess.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm at this page here that you sent out with us.
Sure. So on that page, what you see there at the top of the page, moving down, Tasks 1, initial site assessment. Task 2, conceptual design. I'm reading from the green lines if you have a color version. Task 4 is the final design plan.
Okay.
So those items there, and then underneath them, they are expanded into individual tasks or individual work orders within the task. But those 3 tasks, tasks 1 through 4, I'm not sure what happened to 3, total is $7,280 that we're asking for authorization to proceed on just that alone for right now. Let us prove to you that this is feasible and.
Okay, so we just want to do these, you want to do these first 3 tasks 1, 2, and 4, correct?
Yeah, this is just for the planning phases. There's no
Correct.
construction here yet. This is strictly
What we'd
just
really
the-
like is get the community involved, show that there's a need and desire.
Correct.
And once there is, then we would like to proceed with construction, and with that would come fundraising and things of that nature. But we feel confident we can make this happen, possibly even within the next year.
So this really is a review, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So have you got this 7280 in your current budget right now?
Yes, we do, under
Left
active
over
living.
somewhere?
Yep.
Okay.
It's basically under active living. It's certain sidewalk projects that didn't get completed this year. I say that, they didn't get completed under active living. The Meridian Street sidewalks got completed under the downtown construction project.
I just have trouble with the word construction in your item, because to me, that's like, something that's still out in the future. I'd feel more comfortable if you just rephrase what it is you really are asking for here. If it's planning on this, just a planning document, a planning approval.
Well, I think if we insert review, that makes it more,
So we just put the title on this. I mean, that can be changed. I mean, really, it's just an authorization for us to enter into the contract with, what name of the company again, I'm sorry?
Hillride.
With Hillride. So that's really all this is for planning services.
Yeah, it's for those first 3 tasks, 1, 2, and 4, totaling $7,280, including site assessment concepts, design plans, and final design plans, which final design plans, that may be a confusing word, but that's not construction documents. If you see the next task below that is construction documents. We would not be proceeding into construction documents.
Basically, we're going to get through the site assessment, and then once they do the review and the public review, then you're going to look at creating a design plan and back to public review and that sort of things, and try to gather support.
Exactly.
Yes.
I do have a member of the public here, a young gentleman who would like to address the board on this matter, if
Sure.
that would appease the board.
Sure.
Hello, I am Anson Sperry. I'm a freshman at Lebanon High School. I do cycling competitively for Midwest U, a junior development cycling team out of Indianapolis. I've been cycling competitively for 3 years. I do many disciplines of cycling, including cyclocross, road, track, and mountain biking. I've competed in 3 national championships in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Kentucky. I think the idea of a mountain bike park in Lebanon is a great idea. I support the idea and think other cyclists would too. Cyclists are always looking for new trails to ride and challenging themselves. The cycling community in the Boone County area is big, and this would provide cyclists with a mountain bike park that is close to home and easily accessible. I know personally that my team would love a mountain bike park so close, as many of them live in Zionsville, and this would be a short trip to a mountain bike park that would provide us with a new location to train and challenge ourselves. Not only would cyclists love this park, but I think that the community would love this park because it is a fun way to exercise and challenge yourself no matter your skill level. I personally have seen people have fun on mountain bike trails that have never been mountain biking before. Also, at school, some kids have talked to me about mountain biking and are interested but can never really try it out due to the lack of trails in the nearby area. I am also a part of Boy Scouts. We occasionally go biking as a troop. We'll have to go all the way to Fort Bend or Southwest Way to go mountain biking as a troop. In conclusion, this mountain bike park would help cyclists and the community with exercise, challenging themselves, and fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your sentiments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anson. I appreciate him being here. If there's any other questions or concerns, we would love to address those. But I think it's clear what I'm asking at this point.
Well, and we do want to act too, obviously, if we have entered into a contract before the end of the year, we can encumber the money. So that's part of the reason for it's on this meeting as well too, so. Any other questions or concerns?
No, I don't have any, concerns I think will be later on, because I always have concerns about motorbikes getting out there and running on these things.
That was one of the things that...
I don't know how you deal with those.
It was one of the things that, currently our site is required to be secure, required to be fenced, required to be gated, just for that reason. And one of the things, as I read through the IDAM requirements, you would have to have an inspection program put into place. This is also something that the consultants, Butler Fairman and ATC, also cautioned us that we will have to have a regular inspection program at a minimum per NDOT's requirements of twice a year, but perhaps more often, just to keep, for that really reason is one of the things that ATC mentioned, is that someone gets out there with four-wheelers or motocross bikes, they could possibly do damage to that cap and expose the underlying fill.
How thick is the cap?
2 feet, a minimum. So that's a lot of clay to dig through if you've ever tried to dig through.
That's really not that much.
It's not that much, but if you've ever tried to dig a 2-foot hole through the clay in Boone County, it can be a little challenging.
Okay.
Well, I think it's a neat thing, We used to do that in the backyard of my house when I was a kid.
So would entertain a motion?
I will entertain a motion that we approve the $7,280 for agreement with Hill Ride Development Group for the planning of a bike trail for the city of Lebanon.
We have motions. Is there a second? Motion, second? Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that concludes what I have for old business. Anything from the board? Okay, we'll move on to new business now. Do you want to do the bid openings first, Kevin?
That would probably clear out the room.
Yeah.
Not a bad
Let's do,
idea.
do I have consent from the board to skip ahead in the agenda a little bit? Consent? Consent, okay. Let's do the bid openings for the 2019-2020 street resurfacing program. Do you have all the bids tabulated already, Kevin? Or Rob has them? Okay. We haven't opened them yet, so never mind.
No.
So, all right, go ahead, Rob. Do you need an opener? No opener.
All right, the first one's from Ruth Riley, and it was received today at 8:48 a.m. Looks like opinion of probable cost of construction at the top is $38,233.54. At the bottom of page 2 is $25,730. Let's see. They broke it out into into 4 different projects.
Yeah, there's the bid form, the proposal form was broke into 10 base projects and then 13 additional alternate projects, just to make sure we had the budget to cover these things, and we could add alternates to get to our final desired budget. There should be a total written there at the top.
Yeah, we do. So this, as I go through it here now, I see it. So $709,994.37. If you look through it, they've broken it down into 23 different projects.
Yeah.
So if you want to go through, I think we'll need to analyze
So
all these.
yeah, let's do the top. We'll do the top number, and then we'll
just do the total. And
Maybe if you could list.
Yep. And if it goes quicker, if you want to.
If we were to go to,
It's right there.
yeah, so that's their base bid proposal. And then if you jump back to seven, you'll see the total for all. That might be the easiest in terms of reading things out if we read those
Can we,
two numbers.
can we read the base bid first and then?
Yeah.
If we
Do
just-
you want all the alternates in?
Or, well, it'd be an analysis, the way the document is, we can pick and choose which,
Yeah.
if you would prefer, I open them, I can.
That may be easier, yeah. Probably more familiar with it.
Sorry about that. Again, it's a complicated project. There are 23 separate lines in the project. The way we bid it was, the base bid is the first 10 projects, and then there are 13 separate alternates. Our intention is to do all 23, but in the interest of the budget that we have available through the grant, through our yearly budget, if for some reason all 23 is above 2 million, then we may have a problem awarding it. We didn't want to get into a rebid situation. That's why we structured it this way. So the first proposal received was from Reith Riley, as you mentioned earlier. The base bid was $709,994.37. Their alternate, the total of all alternates was $976,266.44. That is the proposal from Reith Riley. Second proposal received today by Calumet Civil Contractors, received before, at 1 p.m. prior to the deadline. The base proposal is for $980,106.50. The total alternate proposal is for $1,311,137.00.
Repeat that again, the alternate, them.
The alternate number?
Oh,
We got
I've got it, right here, that's fine.
You got it?
I got it, thanks.
I should say, we will
Yeah, we know.
We will have to
Yeah, we're gonna
scrub
put
all
these under
these, we will have to
advisement,
have legal review them, make sure they're complete. The goal would be that we would come back to you at your next scheduled meeting to issue with a recommendation for notice of award.
Okay.
The next proposal, also received before the deadline from Grady Brothers. Base bid total $790,392.00. There are numbers for the alternate proposals, but it does not appear that they filled out the total, so we'll have to review that total. Okay. Oh, yes, thank you, here it is. Alternate bid totals, $936,038.00. That's the proposal from Grady Brothers. Proposal from Baumgardner and Company Asphalt Services, also received before the 3 p.m. deadline.
Sorry, who's this, Kevin? I'm sorry.
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner,
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner. Base bid proposal, $730,097.20. Alternate bid total, $997,013.60. And last is from Midwest Paving, also received before the 3 p.m. deadline. Base bid total, $684,418.60. Alternate bid total, $910,246.80. Again, we will review all these and come back to you with recommendations.
We did also receive a bid from the Harding Group, but it was after the 3 p.m. deadline. So after conversing with the city attorney, we were not able to accept that bid. So. All right, that concludes the 2019-2020 street resurfacing program bid opening. Let's do the bids for the materials as well.
Okay, bid openings for the 2020 unit price materials for the street department. There's several unit price proposals that we requested. They can be submitted individually as one or as many of the individual items as they want. Remind everyone, this is covering asphalt materials, both picked up by the city, delivered to the city, or placed by the contractor. And it's also for oil and grease materials, stone and sand, as well as concrete. First one is from Joe Wilson, Concrete Construction, received before the deadline. Joe Wilson submitted 2 unit prices for concrete sidewalk removal and replacement at $10.60 a square foot, and concrete ADA ramp removal and replacement at $1,250 each. The next proposal is from Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation, also received before the posted deadline. They submitted, it looks like, 4 different unit prices. For liquid asphalt bituminous material, $5.75 per gallon. NDOT number 11 surface, including milling and replacement within the city of limits, $98 per ton. NDOT number 8 binder, including removal and replacement, $95 per ton. NDOT number 9 binder, including removal and replacement, $95 per ton. Oh, and 2 inches of asphalt milling, removal, and disposal of material to a 2-inch depth, $4.75 per square yard. The next package is from Milestone Contractors LP, received prior to the deadline. Their itemized bid form for winter mix asphalt patch materials picked up by the city, $125 per ton. For that same material delivered to the city, $133 per ton. And that is the only two materials they submitted on. Next package from U.S. Aggregates, received prior to the posted deadline. They submitted on stone and sand materials. NDOT number 53 stone picked up by the city at the bidder's facility at $16.10 per ton. NDOT number 53 material delivered to the city, $19 per ton. Stone and sand material, also NDOT number 8 washed stone picked up by the city, $13.30 per ton. And NDOT number 4 sand picked up by the city at $9.10 per ton. Another proposal from Advance Auto Parts, delivered prior to the posted deadline. Okay. AW46 hydraulic fluid, material picked up by the city, $77.33 per gallon. AW46 hydraulic fluid delivered to the city for the same price, $77.33 per gallon. 15W30 motor oil, material to be picked up by the city, $10.11 per gallon. 15W30 motor oil delivered to the city, same price, $10.11 per gallon. Number 2 grease picked up by the city, $2.52 per tube. Number 2 grease delivered to the city, $2.52 per tube. Multi-purpose grease picked up by the city, $2.52 per tube. Multi-purpose grease delivered to the city, $2.52 per tube. Antifreeze picked up by the city, $5.84 per gallon. Antifreeze delivered to the city, $5.84 per gallon. Free delivery. Last is a bid from Central Paving, delivered and received to the city prior to the posted deadline. And they submitted, it's like 2 unit prices for the winter mix material picked up by the city, $80 per ton. Winter mix material delivered to the city, $103.25 per ton. Those are all the packages I have to open.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. That concludes the 2020 annual supply bid opening. We'll review those and then award them at our next meeting. Next is, are you ready to do the change orders? And you got a lot of papers there right now?
Yeah, I got it. One second, pardon me.
Okay.
Let's see, the active living change orders. So this is a change order increasing the active living contract on the Meridian Street sidewalks, which are all incorporated into the downtown project and the downtown funding. The original contract was for $100,493.79. We are increasing that with this change order by $33,766.71. What is that for, though? One, the building owner, Andrew Gutwein of the Heflin Building, approached the city and wanted to have some additional adjustments made in the sidewalk elevations to eliminate some trip hazards coming into his building. We are glad to accommodate that, provided he would pay the increase in cost to the city, and that's what we've agreed to. So $14,737.50 of this change order is for those adjustments for that building. Again, these are not improvements on private property, these are still improvements within the right-of-way, but eliminating steps into the thresholds of that building. The second one, as we discussed here before, per your request, we added lighting to the project, at least the wiring and the foundations for the lighting, and that amounted to $12,832.80, an increase. We've had approximately, there's just been miscellaneous increases in quantities and materials totaling $10,964.41, but also we've had credits amounting to $4,768.00 related to the thickness of concrete that we've adjusted because we had some thicker concrete in areas because we thought we might find some unsuitable conditions. And we also have reduced the amount of granular material needed on the project because as we tore up some of the old sidewalks, we found good material underneath the sidewalks. And also with the adjustment of those elevations on the project. So again, the total for all things included is $33,766.71 for the active living project on the Meridian Street sidewalks.
Okay.
So it's sidewalks and lighting total.
Sidewalk and lighting now, yes.
Okay. Would entertain a motion to approve the change orders for the Meridian Street sidewalks and lighting project.
I make a motion that we approve the change order for active living projects on Marine Street sidewalks and lighting for the amount of $33,766.71.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next is change order on the Memorial Park restroom.
On the restroom, at the time of the meeting or the time of the agenda, we did not have a complete change order documentation with all the details that we'd request from the contractor, so I'm asking that that be tabled until the next meeting.
Would entertain a motion to table the Memorial Park restroom change order.
I'll make a motion, we table item B, change order Memorial Park restroom.
Okay, motion table. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is tabled. Change order Meridian Street resurfacing.
Yes, this is a change order for the 2019 street resurfacing projects, particularly the Meridian Street resurfacing. It was included in the contract. There were unit prices in the contract to do deep patching in areas that failed inspection, but the total of the contract, that was a to be determined. So the total of the contract needs to be increased by the amount of patching that we did, and that's what this change order is for. So it was budgeted for, it was bid for this. The change order reflects the bid unit prices that they were required to submit, and the total for that is $1,681.80.
Okay. Would entertain a motion to approve the Meridian Street resurfacing change order.
I make a motion that we approve the Marine Street resurfacing change order for $1,681.80.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That change order is approved. Okay, that concludes change orders. Next is approval of the NDOT agreement for State Road 32 and Ping Drive traffic signal request for streetlights.
Thank you. This was before you once before. I apologize, I didn't research what meeting that was, but this is for, this is an NDOT agreement between the state and the city of Lebanon for the traffic signal at Ping Drive and State Road 32. It's a provisional signal that will go in as soon as the development produces enough traffic to warrant that signal. This does not mean that we are responsible for the signal. This is just because it intersects with a local street that NDOT requires these agreements to be put in place. The agreement is currently under review with the legal departments, and so we would just ask that any approval be subject to legal review, and we authorize the mayor to execute the agreement. Again, remind everyone, there is no cost associated with this. This is just an agreement that we have to enter into between the city and the state of Indiana.
Okay, any questions for that? Okay, then would entertain a motion pending final legal review and authorizing me to sign on your behalf concerning the Indianapolis, or the NDOT agreement for State Road 32 and Ping Drive.
I make a motion that we approve the agreement with NDOT for the construction of and installation of traffic signal 32 and Ping Drive. And I authorize the mayor to sign after legal review has approved everything.
Okay, we have motions, there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, that is approved. And I think, Kevin, you're done. Thank you. Next up is temporary street closure request for East Main Street for the Grace Food Truck. Ben, this is yours.
Hello again. This is an interesting opportunity that presented itself to me through the chamber last Monday. I was introduced to one of the owners of the Grace Food Truck. They're a fairly new food truck. I believe that one of the owners is an executive chef, or has most recently been an executive chef at Cobblestone in Zionsville, and they're trying this food truck idea. And so they're fairly new to the game, and they're serving breakfast down in Whitestown. We're looking for some other opportunities in Boone County where they might be able to park and serve food in Lebanon as well. In the short term, we've actually got them parking out here at the old Estes property on South Lebanon Street. Actually, they were there Friday for lunch, and they were here today for lunch as well, and I believe they plan to be here tomorrow for lunch for this week. So they are already here in Lebanon. They're parking on a property the city owns, or actually the Redevelopment Commission owns. And it sounds like they're getting some positive feedback. So what they're looking for is, this would also be a short-term request as well. They're looking for a place where they might be able to park close to the square, close to the traffic that comes to and from the county government, et cetera, downtown. And this would allow them to serve both breakfast and lunch. And they're requesting for 3 days only, just next week, to try that out, while the city, actually Kevin and I are conversing about to try to find a long-term solution somewhere close to the square that would allow both this food truck and potentially other food trucks to park somewhere in a reserved area. But what they're requesting, and this is not a street closure for lack of a better term, but this is looking at closing or reserving public spaces, parking spaces for them to be able to park and serve breakfast and lunch. This would be December 16th, 17th, and 20th, which I believe is next Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And they would like to reserve these parking spaces from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those 3 days. And if they pull the overhead up here, I'm going to show you where we're talking about. This would be on Main Street, just east of Meridian on the north side here. So it'd be right adjacent to that pocket park that's there at the corner.
Okay.
They probably won't need that entire space, but they do have the truck plus a trailer. I think they're something like 40 feet long or longer than 40 feet long with the truck and trailer. So this will make sure that they can pull into that area without coming too close to other cars that might be parked. So they'd just be reserving this little half block on the north side of Main Street on the 16th, 17th, and 20th from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
They were not able to, I asked them if they could come tonight, just talk a little about their food truck. Unfortunately, they had some other things they had to take care of with their kids, dentist appointments and such. So they'd be happy to come at some point if you'd like for them to come talk about their truck.
I think that's a good location.
Yeah, it is a great location.
Okay, then would entertain a motion for the temporary, essentially parking reservation, so to speak. Street closure request on East Main Street for the Grace Food Truck, December 16th, 17th, 20th, from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I make a motion that we approve a temporary street closure on East Street, north of Meridian, for closure of the parking spaces on December the 16th, 17th, 20th, from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved.
Thank you.
That concludes what I have for new business. Anything from the board?
No.
Move on to claims, or entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pay claims.
Motion to pay the claims, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Claims are approved, and we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
We have motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, I think it's Dick. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. The redevelopment commission's up next.